Stop. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Subscribe now. We have new stories every day. Now, let's go. I step outside and let the door latch behind me. The first thing I notice isn't the brisk morning air. It's the sharp tang of cigarette smoke in my nostrils. The strangest part, Evelyn doesn't smoke, hasn't touched a cigarette in the 15 years we've been married. I pause there, on the porch, hand still resting on the doorknob. It's a stale, clinging odor, the sort that seeps into clothes and betrays a hidden habit. My gut tightens. I can almost see wisps swirling under the morning sun, except there's no one in sight. Just me, alone, with this faint reminder that something's not right in my own home. I should keep walking. I've got a full schedule at the construction firm, deadlines to wrangle, and phone calls to make. But I don't move. I'm stuck in that split second of suspicion, telling myself I'm probably overreacting. Yet I can't ignore the prickle at the back of my neck. There's a reason my skin is crawling. It's the same reason I quietly started investigating. The same reason I had a DNA test done. Though maybe I was too afraid to see it for what it was. I just stand there, heart pounding. I run a hand through my hair, my old nervous tic. The smell lingers, creeping into my mind like a splinter I can't pull out. Finally, I head down the porch steps. My truck waits at the curb. I climb in, shut the door, and the slam echoes in my chest. This morning's plan was simple: get an early start, visit a new project site, and pretend like everything is normal. But I'm not sure I can do normal anymore. My mind keeps drifting to that cigarette smell, to the secrets it implies. My fists tighten on the steering wheel. I remember seeing the brand, once, in the corner of Evelyn's purse, a battered pack of Marlboros she claimed belonged to a coworker. I'd believed her, or maybe I just wanted to. Halfway to the office, I catch my reflection in the rearview mirror, dark circles under my hazel eyes, a hollowness in my cheeks that wasn't there a few months ago. Guilt, or maybe dread. I can't keep my thoughts from reeling. Memories flash by like highway mile markers. The old felt-tip pen I found behind the kitchen drawer, the hidden app on her phone, the bicycle diaries that made me laugh until I realized it wasn't a joke. There's no going back to ignorance now. I punched the steering wheel once. Not hard, just enough to let out a fraction of the tension. Then I press the accelerator and leave my doubts behind, at least for a moment. I spend the morning trudging through project updates. My phone buzzes every 10 minutes, but none of the messages come from Evelyn. She's always been more of an extrovert, sending me random texts with emojis or pictures of her lunch. Silence from her is deafening. Around lunchtime, I stand by the office window, coffee in hand, and watch traffic inch along. My reflection in the glass superimposes over the cars below. Part of me wants to call her, demand explanations, maybe confront her about that suspicious pack of cigarettes. But no, I need more evidence, more certainty. I learned that from my father. Don't accuse unless you're sure you can back it up. A real man does his homework, he used to say. So I hold off, draining the bitter dregs of my coffee while bitterness swirls in my chest. By 3 in the afternoon, my concentration is shot. I check my phone and see a notification from an unfamiliar contact. A photo, blurred in preview. My pulse quickens as I open it. At first, it's just an image of a hand on a thigh. The lighting is dim, the angle haphazard. Then I notice the ring on that hand. It's my wife's wedding band. She's wearing something skimpy, lacy, definitely not her usual cotton pajamas. I blink, and a cold rush of adrenaline hits my veins. My hands shake, nearly dropping the phone. The next image loads, more revealing. She's leaning over a man's shoulder, her body pressed close, lips parted. And there's a reflection in a mirror behind them, confirming without a doubt that it's her. Evelyn, with someone else. I feel my legs go numb. The phone nearly slips from my grasp. My ears start ringing. It's not just suspicion anymore. This is confirmation. My vision narrows, and for a moment, The world around me fades. My mind conjures that old phrase from the diaries. He's better than you. The words sting like acid on an open wound. I manage to shove the phone into my pocket before anyone in the office sees. My coworker Gary waves from across the room, asking me something about a blueprint, but I can't form the words to reply. I just nod, hoping I don't look as sick as I feel. I leave the office in a daze, ignoring emails and phone calls. A single thought pounds in my head. I need to see them with my own eyes. Let her deny it if she dares. Let me catch every trembling detail, brand it into my memory so I can never again fool myself into believing we're okay. The drive home is a blur. I swerve through traffic, ignoring honks, ignoring the speed limit, ignoring the flicker of caution that tries to slow me down. By the time I pull up to our house, the sky is turning a dull gray, and the lights inside glow with a warmth I'd once considered welcoming. Tonight, though, they seem mocking. I kill the engine, step out. Every nerve in my body feels frayed raw. The front door is unlocked. I step in, shutting it quietly behind me. Then it hits me. That same cigarette smell, stronger now. My jaw clenches. The living room is dim, but I can make out two silhouettes down the hallway. Hers and another figure. They don't see me. They're too wrapped up in each other, oblivious to the rest of the world. Without thinking, I move closer, hugging the wall like some intruder. The lights in the bedroom flicker through a crack in the doorway. She's leaning back against the bed, hair disheveled, blouse half undone. He's there, kneeling between her legs, his mouth on her neck. Her hand grips his shoulder. The tension between them hums with a dark, magnetic pull. My heart hammers so violently I half expect them to hear it. She lets out a low moan, soft but unmistakable, and I feel my stomach twist. He slides his hand along her thigh with an intimacy that used to be mine. Sweat beads on my forehead. I should storm in, demand answers, tear him off her. But I'm frozen, pinned in place by the jagged shards of my own disbelief. She arches her back, eyes closed, her lips parted in a silent gasp. There's no doubt she's all in. Not a hint of hesitation. My mind fixates on the details, the flush on her cheeks, the way her fingers dig into the sheets, the soft exhale of pleasure as he leans in. This is real, painfully real. My breath catches in my throat, and I stumble back, pressing a hand to my mouth to stifle a ragged exhale. I can't watch anymore. I've seen enough. My vision blurs with raw fury and heartbreak all at once. I step away from the door, trying to gather my composure. My body shakes with adrenaline. Part of me wants to rip that bedroom door wide open and wreck everything inside. Another part wants to vanish, to erase this moment, this night, this entire twisted reality. But I do neither. Instead, I slip back into the hallway and lean against the wall, heart pounding, tears burning at the corners of my eyes, though I refuse to let them fall. When I finally hear a shift in the bedroom, movement, a whispered conversation, I rush into the kitchen and pretend to be rummaging through the fridge, forcing my breathing steady. The overhead light glares down on me, mocking my attempt at calm. I sense them approach before I see them. Evelyn emerges, smoothing her hair, her top buttoned but askew. The lover stands just behind her, and in that brief, electric moment, we lock eyes. He's shorter than me, slender, with dark, groomed hair. He reeks of confidence, of brazen ownership. His face flickers with surprise, like he got caught, and isn't sure how to spin it. Evelyn's eyes widen. "Will?" she blurts, voice shaking. She puts on a mask of composure, but I see the slight tremor in her lower lip. I thought you were working late." I close the fridge door with deliberate slowness. "Got off early," I reply. My voice is low, almost casual. Inside, everything is roiling. "Didn't realize you had company." The lover glances at her, then back at me. I can see the question in his eyes. Is he going to lose it? For a second, I imagine smashing one of the kitchen stools across his face, or maybe just laying him out with a single punch. But I don't. Instead, I force a grin, thin, acidic. "Who's your friend?" Evelyn stammers. Miguel. "He's from work." A lie. She's always been a decent liar, but now her words sound hollow even to her. She glances at him as if to confirm the story. He tries to look unruffled. "Yeah, from work," he echoes, but the tension in his voice betrays the truth. I fold my arms. "Funny. I don't remember hearing about you before." My eyes flick to him. "Miguel." He tries to speak, but nothing coherent comes out. Evelyn clears her throat, stepping forward. "We were just discussing a project. It's late, so he'll be leaving now." My gaze lingers on him, and I make sure he feels the weight of my stare. Then I nod toward the door. Then, by all means, we stand there in silence. Three strangers in a house that used to be my fortress. Miguel grabs his coat from the edge of the couch. He moves carefully, as if anticipating a strike. I don't budge. Finally, he nods once and ducks out the front door without another word. The house goes still. Evelyn looks at me, but I don't meet her eyes. My throat is too tight for words. 1,000 accusations swirl in my head, but I recall the plan I formed. Pretend to forgive. Gather more evidence. Build an airtight case, not just legally, but emotionally. She steps closer, reaching out. I step back. "Will, I can explain," she says softly. I let out a short laugh, laced with venom. "I bet you can. But maybe later, huh? I'm tired." Her mouth hangs open in shock at my calm tone. She's bracing for the storm, but I give her none of it. Maybe that's the cruelest thing I can do right now. Hold it all in. Let it fester. She tries again. "Please, Will, listen." I raise a hand, cutting her off. "We'll talk. Not tonight." That's all I manage, and I brush past her, heading upstairs. My footsteps echo in the silence, inside the bedroom. The same room I saw them in minutes ago. I can still sense the warmth of their entanglement. The sheets are ruffled, carrying the faint trace of perfume. My mind conjures images I want to banish forever. But I can't. I swallow, tasting bile in my throat. Then I step out, shutting the door behind me. I end up on the couch downstairs, lying awake all night, my thoughts a tangled mess of pain and strategy. Morning. The sun's barely up, but I've had enough of this living room. I rise, stiff-backed and bleary-eyed, gather my keys and slip out. No conversation. Evelyn is somewhere upstairs, presumably alone, but I don't want to face her right now. Outside, the smell of cigarettes is mercifully absent. I climb into my truck, letting the seat creak under my weight, and I stare at the dashboard. The memory of her moan cuts into me like a blade, a moan that used to be for me. I grip the steering wheel so hard my knuckles blanch. I flick on the ignition. The radio plays some generic morning news, but I switch it off. I need silence. My mind replays the moment I found the Bicycle Diaries app on her phone, some hidden digital journal where she vented, posted pictures. The phrase, "he's better than you," floats to the surface of my memory, taunting me. I used to think I was a decent husband. Not perfect, but dedicated. Provided for her. Protected her. Clearly, she wanted something else. I drive aimlessly for a while, ignoring traffic signals, letting the city blur into a monotony of buildings and cars. Eventually, I end up at my office building, though I'm far too early. I park and stare at the mirrored facade. My reflection in the glass looks gaunt, angry. I think about the DNA test, the reason I did it. Call it paranoia, but I was suspicious. Some small, gnawing doubt told me to check everything. Maybe I was searching for any sign that my reality was a lie. The test results confirmed I was my parents' child. No surprises there, but offered no solace. I found no comfort in the truth I was seeking. In fact, I found something else entirely. Despite my swirling thoughts, I go inside, slump behind my desk, and bury myself in project details for hours. Work is the only place I can temporarily shut off the loop of betrayal in my head. My phone vibrates every so often. Texts from Evelyn. I don't bother reading them. Let her sweat. Let her wonder if I'm about to blow up her life. Because I might. A little after noon, I catch sight of a name that raises my hackles. Miguel Reyes. It's on a client form. My heart thuds. Then I realize this is purely a coincidence. Someone with the same name, or maybe it's actually him. A wave of rage surges through me, but I exhale, forcing myself to stay calm. Deep inside, I know I'm not just angry with him. I'm furious with her. She's the one who chose this, who let him in. After work, I decide I'm not going home right away. Instead, I stop at a bar near downtown. It's dim, a little rundown, smelling of beer and fried food. Exactly what I need. I sink onto a stool, order a whiskey neat, and nurse it until the ice melts in the glass. My phone pings repeatedly. I ignore it. It's only when my reflection in the bar mirror looks haggard enough to draw stares that I decide to leave. The drive home feels heavier than usual. By the time I pull into the driveway, it's pitch dark, and Evelyn's car is parked neatly. Lights glow behind closed curtains. I step inside, shoulders braced for a confrontation, but the house is silent. Then she appears in the hallway, arms wrapped around herself. She's in her bathrobe, hair damp from a recent shower. Her eyes are red, swollen from crying. "Will," she starts, voice trembling. "I thought, maybe you wouldn't come back tonight." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "I live here, don't I?" She looks down, fiddling with the tie of her robe. "We need to talk." I nod. "Yeah, we do." She leads me to the living room, each step feeling like I'm walking further into quicksand. I sit in my usual armchair. She perches on the sofa. Our positions might as well be a battlefield. Me in the far corner, arms folded, her across from me, tears on her cheeks. She tries to speak, but her lips quiver. Finally, I cut in. "Why?" I demand, voice low. "Tell me why. And don't feed me some story about it being a work project." She swallows hard. I don't know. It just happened. A lame cliché. But she continues. "I felt alone, unseen. And he listens. He pays attention to all the small things. He makes me feel alive." Her words stab at the rawest parts of me. I stiffen. "So I was just background noise. That's it. After all these years you decide I'm insufficient." She shakes her head. "It's not that simple. I tried to talk to you, Will, but you were always busy, always focused on the next project. And I was lonely. Then I met Miguel." "Don't say his name to me." I snap, surprising myself with the sudden venom. A tense silence. She's crying in earnest now. I feel a flicker of guilt, but it's overshadowed by my rage. My breathing grows shallow. "Keep it together," I remind myself. "Don't let it out yet. Not until you're ready." Evelyn must mistake my coldness for calm. She approaches, kneeling beside my chair. She reaches for my hand, but I pull away. Her voice is hushed, pleading. "Will, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. It got out of control." I stare down at her. "You were in control every step of the way. Don't lie." Her shoulders slump in defeat. Tears streak her face, but I can't muster sympathy. "Not now." She tries once more. Can we fix this?" My answer is quiet, measured. "We'll talk more soon. I'm too tired now." Before she can protest, I stand and walk upstairs, leaving her crumpled on the living room floor. A cold satisfaction edges through the swirling pain in my chest. I want her to feel what I felt. Powerless, abandoned. In the morning, I make eggs and coffee, though my appetite is shot. Evelyn tiptoes around me, eyes red. She tries to help, and I ignore her. I shovel a few bites into my mouth before tossing the rest in the trash. The tension is unbearable, but I cling to it. My father's words echo in my mind. A real man does his homework. I'm not done collecting evidence. It doesn't take me long to discover more. Text messages, photos, even voice recordings in that hidden app. She confesses everything in raw detail to him. How he touches her nails so gently in his salon. The quiet jokes they share. She wrote about how he's better than me, how he sees her. The deeper I dig, the more I feel my blood turn to ice. And then there's the big deal we've both been working on. Some joint investment with a partner firm. We were supposed to benefit financially, help secure our future. Even though we're not official business partners, we've invested in this together. If it goes through, we both profit. If it fails, we both lose. The only difference is, if I sabotage it carefully, I can blame Miguel. I can push the narrative that he messed up a key segment, that his arrogance destroyed everything. I chew on that thought, letting it simmer. I find out Miguel has some tangential role in the marketing pitch. Evelyn pulled strings to get him involved, probably as a consultant or something. The details are fuzzy, but it's enough. Suddenly, the path forward is clear. My mind whirls with a dark plan. Sabotage. Wreck the deal from the inside. Let them both pay for what they did to me. Will it fix my broken pride? Probably not. But revenge, in its twisted way, calls to me like a siren. I bide my time, keep my head down, pretend to be on board with the plan. Evelyn, desperate to mend things, confuses my silence for forgiveness. She's relieved, I can tell. She tries to be affectionate, cooking my favorite meals, sending me texts at work. I respond with polite enthusiasm, and she dares to hope. Meanwhile, I gather all the documents I need to dismantle the deal. All the while, I sense an undercurrent of guilt in her eyes. She might suspect something, but she can't read me. Not anymore. Late one night, she sits by my side in bed. She gently places a hand on my shoulder, and I stiffen. The memory of her with Miguel is too raw. She leans her head on me, sighing softly. "Thank you," she whispers. "For what?" My voice is empty. "For trying," she says, voice trembling. I know it's a lot to ask. I stare at the ceiling. "Yes," I whisper back. My tone is devoid of warmth. Still, she misreads it as progress, closing her eyes, letting herself drift off. I remain awake, my heart a knot of anger and betrayal. Around 1 a.m, I slip out of bed and into my home office, double-checking the sabotage plan. Everything is in place. A week later, the meeting for the final phase of the deal is scheduled. I'm there, wearing my best navy blazer, face set in an expression of confidence. Evelyn is on the marketing side, anxiously sipping coffee in the conference room. The team from the partner firm is across the table, glancing at their phones. Suddenly, the door opens, and Miguel steps in. He's dressed in a crisp shirt, hair perfectly styled. I sense Evelyn tense next to me, though she hides it well. She's praying I won't erupt. But I just greet him with a curt nod, like any colleague. The presentation begins. Slides flash on the screen. Evelyn's voice is steady. She's good at this. For a moment, I almost respect her composure. Then it's Miguel's turn. He talks about branding strategy, potential cross-promotions. My stomach churns at his confidence, his easy charm. He looks at me, measuring my reaction. I keep my expression neutral, though a poisonous satisfaction simmers beneath the surface. He has no idea what's coming. When my turn arrives, I speak about budget alignment. I slip in the changes, subtle but deadly. Numbers that don't match up. A timeline that's impossible to meet. I mask it as a minor oversight, referencing documents I've updated. Evelyn glances at me, confused. She knows something is off, but can't pinpoint it. The partner firm's executives notice the discrepancy, frowning as they flip through the slides. Miguel tries to salvage it, jumping in with a suggestion. I steer the conversation back to the flawed data. Soon it's clear something's not right. Tensions escalate. One of the executives, an older man, narrows his eyes. I thought you said this was consistent. Now you're telling me we're short on capital. I shrug. I'm just going by Miguel's outline. Isn't that what he proposed last week? I point to a fabricated note in the slides, forging blame in his direction. Before he can respond, I keep talking, weaving half-truths that shift responsibility onto him. He's blindsided, stammering. Evelyn's face goes pale. The meeting unravels in minutes. The partner firm's trust shatters. They mutter about wasted time, about incompetent collaboration. By the end, they announce they'll be pulling out of the deal. A hush falls as they stand up, gather their briefcases, and storm out. Miguel tries to fix it, but it's too late. The door slams shut, leaving just the three of us. Evelyn stares at me, eyes wide with shock. "Will," she begins, voice trembling. What just happened?" I feign bewilderment. "Didn't you coordinate with him?" I jerk my chin at Miguel. "He's the one who gave me these figures. If you two were talking, maybe you'd have caught the error." Miguel bristles, face flushing. "That's not true, and you know it." He tries to appeal to Evelyn. "He twisted the data. I swear. I sent the original spreadsheet." I cut him off. "Don't accuse me of lying. We all saw your slides. Maybe you were too busy with personal matters to keep your numbers straight." He lunges toward me, frustration etched on his face, but Evelyn jumps between us. Her expression is torn, on the verge of tears. "Stop it, both of you." She rounds on Miguel. "Are you sure you didn't send the wrong file? This is a huge blow to our finances." He falters. Evelyn, you know me better than that." Her lips pressed together in a grim line. I thought I did. I watch him realize how precarious his position is. My carefully laid trap has snapped shut. He tries to plead his case, but she's already seeing him as a liability. Their affair, once so alluring, now threatens her stability. She's stuck between me and him, but the path of least resistance leads her back to me. Her husband, her financial anchor. Miguel grabs his bag, eyes flicking between us. "I'm out of here," he mutters, shoulders tense with anger. This is ridiculous. He pushes past me, his elbow grazing mine, and storms out. Evelyn whirls on me. "Tell me the truth, Will. Did you do this on purpose?" I fix her with a cold stare. "Do you really care, Evie?" Her face pales at the use of that nickname, one I used to say with tenderness. "You already made your choices." I shrug. "Now I've made mine." She exhales shakily. "So we both lose everything." I nod. "Yes, we do." And I walk out, leaving her alone in the conference room, staring at the wreckage of our mutual ambitions. Back at home that evening, I'm assaulted by a wave of conflicting emotions. It should feel good, having taken my revenge, but I find no real peace in it. The house is quiet. Evelyn hasn't returned yet. I wander into the kitchen, noticing the little details. The coffee mug she left on the counter, the half-eaten muffin. Memories of better days ripple through me. A time when we used to laugh over breakfast, share random text messages about silly things. Now, all of that feels like someone else's life. I open the fridge, searching for a beer, but my eyes land on a container of leftover lasagna. I made that for her a week ago, trying to pretend we were normal. The thought of it now churns my stomach. I close the fridge empty-handed. Then I hear the door open. Evelyn steps in, shoulders hunched, eyes swollen from crying. She says nothing, dropping her purse onto the sofa. I wait, arms folded. We stand there in silence, two strangers who share a house. Finally, she turns to me, voice raw. "How could you do that?" she asks, her tone hollow. "We invested so much in that deal." I tilt my head. "Tell me, Evelyn, how could you do what you did? Invite him into our bed, our life?" She flinches at the words, eyes squeezing shut. "I can't defend it anymore," she whispers. "But I thought we still had time to fix us." I laugh, sharp and bitter. Fix, like a broken vase. Glue it back together and pretend it was never shattered. She slumps against the wall. I was desperate. I made a terrible mistake. Mistake, I echo softly, letting the word hang. It was more than that. You betrayed me, Evie. And I returned the favor. She starts sobbing. In the past, her tears would gut me. Now they pass right through me like I'm hollowed out. I let her cry until the sound fades into ragged breathing. When she finally looks at me, I see something different in her gaze, like a cold realization that we've passed the point of no return. Where do we go from here? She asks, voice cracking. I stare at her, a torrent of conflicting emotions battling in my chest. I don't know. That's all I can manage. She nods, lips trembling. Then she walks upstairs without another word. I stand there in the dimly lit kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator mocking the silence. Revenge was supposed to taste sweet, but all I feel is emptiness. Days pass. We drift through the house like ghosts, avoiding each other. The sabotage has ripple effects. We both lose money, but I bear it stoically. I had a backup plan, some savings tucked away. Not enough to recoup all losses, but enough to keep me stable. Evelyn is not as prepared. I see her scanning job listings, wringing her hands. She tries to ask for my help, but I offer nothing more than a polite shrug. It's a cold war between us, and the front lines are drawn. I busy myself with personal tasks, cleaning out old files, reevaluating my life. The memory of her words in that journal, "He sees me," haunts me. I wonder if it was truly about Miguel, or if she was just lost, searching for something I never gave her. That creeping guilt starts to gnaw at me. Maybe I'm not the victim I believed I was. Maybe I contributed to all this by shutting her out, by focusing on work, by neglecting the spark that once bound us together. But then I recall the sight of them in our bedroom, and any sympathy vanishes, replaced by a surge of anger. I'm half asleep on the couch one evening when Evelyn approaches, standing awkwardly a few feet away. She waits for me to look at her, but I keep my eyes on the blank TV screen. "Will," she begins softly, "I can't keep living like this. We need to talk." "Talk away," I mutter. She wrings her hands, taking a deep breath. "I'm leaving. I've decided to stay with my mother for a while, figure things out. This house, it feels like a tomb." Something inside me clenches, but my face remains impassive. "Fine. Go." She waits, maybe hoping I'll protest or beg her to stay. I do neither. She nods sadly. "I'll pack a few things, but I'll come back for the rest." I say nothing. She stares at me for a moment longer, tears welling, but no words are exchanged. Then she heads upstairs. I hear the soft thud of her suitcase being pulled from the closet, the quiet shuffle of clothes. Part of me wants to run up there and shout at her, call her cruel names for tearing us apart. Another part just wants to let her go, let her vanish. Maybe this is the only way. She comes down 20 minutes later, pulling her suitcase behind her. She pauses by the door. "I'm sorry," she whispers, voice trembling. "I mean that." I fix my gaze on the floor, jaw tight. After a moment, I murmur, "Time doesn't heal. It just erases." She tilts her head. "What?" "Nothing," I say, voice hollow. And with that, she slips out into the night, the door clicking shut behind her. For a long while, I sit there, listening to my own heartbeat pounding in the silence. She's gone. A sense of finality wraps around me like a heavy cloak. The next morning, I find myself at the dining table, rifling through bills and random papers, trying to figure out the next steps. The house feels cavernous without her presence. Her cat, Daisy, meows by the empty food dish. I feed the cat absently, realizing Evelyn left behind a few responsibilities. Maybe she'll come back for Daisy. Maybe not. I stroke the cat's fur, and Daisy purrs, unaware of the chaos around us. My phone buzzes. It's Miguel. I nearly tossed the device across the room in disgust, but curiosity wins. I read the text. We need to talk, face to face. Don't ignore me. I know what you did. My fist clenches around the phone. Good. Let him come. Let him rage. Part of me wants to see the anger in his eyes, to feed off the confrontation. I text back an address, a secluded spot near a deserted parking lot by the old docks. If he wants to settle this, fine. That evening, a chill wind rolls off the water, stirring up debris in the empty lot. I stand by my truck, arms crossed. The sky is dark, illuminated by flickering streetlights. Finally, a sleek sedan pulls in, headlights slicing the shadows. Miguel steps out, jaw set, posture stiff. He approaches, his footsteps echoing in the stillness. What the hell was that stunt? He demands, voice echoing off the concrete walls. You destroyed that deal on purpose, pinned it on me. I meet his glare with one of my own. Yeah, I did. No sense lying now. He clenches his fists, eyes blazing. You cost me my reputation. The partner firm blacklisted me. All because I cared about Evelyn. Because. I bark out a laugh. Cared. You crawled into my bed with my wife. Don't talk to me about caring. My words drip with contempt. You should have thought about the fallout before you touched her. Miguel's features twist in anger. He steps closer. You think I forced her? She came to me. She was hurting, lonely. You. I shove him backward with a burst of rage. He stumbles but doesn't fall. Don't try to put this on me, I snarl. You knew she was married. He catches his balance, glaring. And you think you deserve her loyalty just because you wear a ring. She's a human being, not your property. If she found something in me she was missing from you, maybe you should have taken care of that. I reel with the slap of truth behind his words. My father's old lessons about being a real man echo in my head, and for a moment, I question whether my negligence helped drive her away. Then I remember her moans, the lingering smell of cigarettes. White-hot fury surges anew. I swing at him. He ducks, and my fist grazes his shoulder. Before I can strike again, he lands a solid punch to my midsection, knocking the wind out of me. We grapple, fists and curses flying. The pain is sharp, but the adrenaline spurs me on. We're both breathing hard, muscles straining. Finally, I manage to pin him against my truck, my forearm across his throat. His eyes bulge with fear and anger. My voice comes out in a ragged snarl. You took everything from me. He chokes out, she chose me. That final jab makes me press harder, ignoring the voice in my head that warns me I'm going too far. Then something snaps. I realize I'm on the verge of truly hurting him, maybe worse. With a roar of frustration, I shove him away, letting him gasp for air. I stagger back, chest heaving. He coughs, rubbing his neck, glaring at me. You can blame me all you want, but you know the truth. I stare at him, heart pounding, fists clenched. The truth, that she's gone. That you and I destroyed each other's lives. Miguel straightens, spitting a bit of blood on the ground. You got what you wanted. Revenge. But trust me, you're not going to feel better. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then he turns and walks away. I watch him climb into his car, slam the door, and peel out of the lot, headlights vanishing into the darkness. I stand there, gulping air, staring at my bruised knuckles. He's right. I don't feel better. I feel hollow. Time drags on. Days, weeks. Evelyn sends the occasional message about dividing assets, picking up her belongings. I reply with cold efficiency, going through the motions. Meanwhile, I bury myself in work, picking up side projects to stay busy. I throw out the bed linens she ruined with her affair, buy new ones, paint the walls, rearrange furniture, trying to scrub away every trace of them. The cat prowls the house, meowing at the empty rooms. I catch sight of old photos from our wedding, from trips we took together. I stash them in a cardboard box, not sure whether to burn them or store them. My anger flares, then dies down into a quiet ache. I can't figure out which is worse, the rage or the emptiness. One evening, I sink onto the couch, exhausted. The cat jumps into my lap. I stare at my phone, remembering the DNA test fiasco, the diaries, the sabotage, all the steps that led me here. My father once told me, time heals all wounds, but that's a lie. Time doesn't heal. It erases. The edges of memories blur, the sharpness fades, but the damage remains, carved into your psyche. Out of nowhere, tears burn in my eyes, the first I've allowed since this began. They flow down my cheeks, hot and bitter. I clench my jaw, let the tears come. The cat purrs softly, oblivious to my torment. I'm not sure how long I sit like that, trembling, tears mixing with the quiet hum of the heater. Eventually, I stand, wiping my face. My reflection in the hallway mirror stares back. Tired, battered, older than I was. But I'm still here, still breathing. I'm not the one who got betrayed. I recall telling myself once. I'm the one who betrayed her. The thought returns, haunting me. Maybe there's truth in it. I neglected her, let her drift away. Or maybe it's just self-flagellation. Either way, it doesn't change the outcome. Months roll by. The house is emptier now. Evelyn has taken her clothes, her personal items, half the furniture. I let her have it, not caring anymore. She wanted out. So did I, in my own twisted way. We signed the final papers, dividing our finances. She tries to speak with me in that lawyer's office, but I avoid her eyes. I keep my responses short, businesslike. I see tears welling in her eyes, but I can't offer comfort. Not after everything. We sign on the dotted lines, finalize the separation. In the corridor, she stops me. "Will," she says softly, "I'm so sorry. I wish I could change." I cut her off. "You can't." My tone isn't angry anymore, just resigned. "Take care, Evie." And with that, I walk away, an echo of footsteps in the sterile hallway. It feels like I'm stepping off a cliff into a wide unknown. I sit on the porch at twilight, a can of beer resting on the arm of the old wooden chair. The sun sets in a haze of purple and orange, painting the sky with fleeting beauty. The smell of cigarettes is gone. The house's air is fresh now. Yet there are moments when I still think I catch that scent, and my heart lurches like I'm back in that moment of discovering her betrayal. For a long while, I stare at the horizon, letting the day's last rays wash over me. I'm not sure what my future holds. I've lost the deal, lost my marriage, lost my illusions, but I'm still standing, still breathing. The guilt, the pain, the anger, they're all in there, swirling around. Time might erase the edges, but these scars will remain. I remember how Evelyn used to say, "I love," in her little notes, no hesitation, no space for doubt. That memory stings. Maybe I'll burn those notes, or maybe I'll keep them as a reminder of what was once good between us, something that I let slip away. The cat slinks onto the porch, curling around my ankles. I take a swig of beer, letting the bitterness roll over my tongue. In the distance, I hear distant cars passing, life moving on outside my personal storm. A sense of emptiness settles over me, heavy yet strangely calming. Nothing is resolved. Not really. But I've done all I can do. The rest is just existence. Day by day, breath by breath. I close my eyes and let out a long breath. She's gone. He's out there somewhere, licking his wounds. And me. I remain, that last man standing among the ruins. A wave of exhaustion hits me, but I also feel a small flicker of determination. I'll keep going. I'll speak after her, as I always do. And maybe, somewhere down the line, I'll find a way to forgive myself, if not her. But for now, all that matters is that I keep breathing, keep moving, even if it's just one step at a time. The sun vanishes below the horizon, leaving the sky darker than before. I lean back in my chair, eyes fixed on the dim glow of the street lamp flickering to life. My story isn't over, I realize. It just took a turn I never anticipated. And for the first time, I allow myself a small, wry smile, thinking, let time do what it does. It won't heal me, but it will erase the sharpest edges, leaving behind a man who's been burned and broken, but not defeated. Not yet. I lift the beer can in a silent toast to the night sky. Then I close my eyes and let the darkness settle around me, letting the final ember of the day slip into oblivion. The world moves on, unbothered, while I remain on this worn porch, a man haunted by what was and by what might yet be. And that is all there is.